Hey yo, what's good with y'all? Today we're gonna be I'm gonna show you guys how to change a wheel hub and install extended studs on the RL. Doing that because I got some new wheels I'm about to put on, and to fit them you need a 10 mil spacers and extended studs. So I figured I might as well show you guys how to change a wheel hub while I'm there, and give you guys a jam-packed video. All right, now that we got the wheel off, we're gonna take a couple things out. First, these two bolts for the brake caliper. I think those are a 19. Yep, they're a 19. Then these two 10mm bolts for the brake hose. And you're gonna want to support the caliper. Maybe hold it with a bungee cord. Then you're gonna want to undo this cotter pin and undo this bolt for the tie rod end. And then there's one bolt for the ABS sensor, which has to come out. Catch right back up with you. All right, now time to remove the rotor. You may want to use some WD-40 right around the hub. And I would use a hammer and kind of hit in these areas to kind of break loose the surface rust, the corrosion or whatnot. Now, if you're doing this and you see you have screws, I took my rotor screws out. What you're going to use what's called an impact screwdriver. You can get that at AutoZone for like 12 bucks. And basically what that does, it's a screwdriver that you hit with the hammer, and as you hit it with the hammer, it twists the screws because they're rusted on. Usually can't get them out by hand. You have to use a torch or whatever. But once you get those out, you don't have to put them back in. They're not necessary. All right, everything's taken apart. The reason I said we need to take the tie rod off is so we can move the spindle easily. You won't have to like start the car, nothing crazy like that to turn the wheel. And now that we have that access, we can reach behind and get the 4 bolts that hold this thing on. Before we do that, we gotta take this axle nut out. It's a 36mm. You're gonna need a really strong impact gun. Or if you know you're gonna do this, go to a tire shop with air tools and ask them to break it loose for you first. And then that way, when they put it back on, it'll be easier for you to take off with your home tools. All right, so now I'm realizing it may be easier to take off this upper ball joint nut right here. This is just a castle nut. Use like some needle nose pliers and take this out like this. There you go, hold on to that. And then, what is the size of that? I think this is a 5/8. Well, you take that off, and if it's still stuck on, you want to hammer here. Hammer here, do not hit here or here. Hammer here to separate the two, and if that doesn't work, then you may want to use a ball joint separator tool. All right, I haven't had any luck with smacking the knuckle, so I'm gonna use my separator tool like this. As I turn it, this little punch, whatever you want to call it, slowly pushes the separates the two. It's a little slow process, but it's slowly coming out there. Be right back. Now they got that separated, see these 4 17mm bolts that have to come out, and then you can literally pull the hub right out. While we're in here, this is just a little look at my bags. I got BC coils. converted them to bags. It's my airline right up there. Yeah, a little inside look. I never shown this before. I know a lot of people are curious. There you go. Old hub out. Now some preventative maintenance. Before you put a new hub in here, try to clean it up. You know what I mean? Get a towel, rag, brush, wire brush, or whatever you have it, and try to clean the surface before you put a new one in here, just for future reference. All right, get your power tools, and then as you tighten it, it's gonna pull this stud inward, so watch. All right, I need 2 amps for this. As I tighten, it's gonna pull the stud in, watch. Yeah, it's a slow process. That's why you really need some power tools for this. All right, so that's 1 down, and 4 more to go on this hub, so I'll be back. Well, unfortunately, y'all, we got to take a break because the gun has died. So this put a dent in the plans, but it's all good. We're still gonna get a video out to you guys. If you're watching it, this means today was successful. All right, you guys, I'm back. Got all the studs pressed in on this one hub. Now, what we want to do next is, get our hub and line the splines up with our axle. All right, now our 4 bolts, hub bolts, want to do them in a crisscross pattern. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I'm gonna torque them down to 80 foot-pounds after I get them all snug. And then we want to do our axle nut. That's got a really high torque rating. I think it's like almost 200 foot-pounds. All right, our hub bolts are torqued down. Axle nut. Now, you want to, you can choose on whether you want to put the tie rod in first or the control arm. I'm going to start with the control arm though. You're going to need a jack for this. You're going to jack up the bottom to apply pressure to the upper ball joint, put it on some type of load. You also you don't want to pull the control arm down and then tighten it, because then you take it out of its normal state. You want it to be tightened down at a state where it's going to normally sit while riding, basically, so you don't twist those bushings up there. All right, we've got the jack underneath, a little bit of load, and then you can start tightening this upper ball joint. And as you tighten it, it'll be pulling this ball joint closer into the knuckle. And you do that until it's pretty much snug. I know I don't always follow torque specifications, but it's just my intuition. All right, nut is tight, but don't forget your little ring for the castle nut. There you go. All right, next, you can take this load off now. Take this load off. And next is our tie rod. Now, if you have ever in the situation where you're twisting the nut, but the tie rod is spinning too, like the thread, all you have to do is apply pressure to the bottom. So what I have, I'm gonna put a brick underneath here because it's kind of too high with my low profile jack. But watch, once we put a brick underneath here and apply enough pressure, then the threads will stop twisting. Now if you can see, pressure is underneath, and as I twist, the thread is not moving. So now I'm able to effectively tighten this tie rod. All right, now remember to put your ABS line back in. ABS sensor rather. Simple. This isn't like the Accord, it's not stuck. Just push it in like that. Tighten it up. There we go. Remember, this just needs to be a little snug, doesn't need to be too tight. Don't need to break anything. Now, this tie rod, some aftermarket tie rods don't come with a hole, but since mine does, I'm gonna put a new cotter pin in there. Right there. Get a hammer and tap it in. Rest of the way. Like that. And then some needle nose pliers to wrap it around like such. Get a better grip. One hand life, you know. There you go. Perfect. Next, we're gonna put this rotor back on right here. And a little trick, you can thread your nut on all the way to kind of keep it still in place, make it easier for installation. And then we're gonna put the caliper back on. Caliper's back on, tighten our 219s, then take these 210s and mount that bracket back. And then a common problem with the RL, these are like clips that pop into the knuckle for this ABS line. They often break, so I always get a zip tie and just wrap it around. All right, everything's tightened up on this side. Now I'm gonna go test fit our wheels. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know, got a set of Style 95s, BMW 7 Series. They're hard to clear the front calipers, so I'm gonna test fit this front piece and see, this front wheel rather, and see how much clearance we have, and do we air out, and do we tuck, do we not. So give me 1 second. All right, fitment, it pokes a little bit. I think a little rolling and pulling of the fenders and it'll be perfect. This is super tight though, you know? Ugh. Love that look though. I love these wheels, I love them. And it's super close to the calipers. If you look closely, they cut like, they're not even touching, but it's just enough. Perfect fitment right there. All right, I'm gonna try to show you guys how it moves up and down. Getting a look from the front too, like it'll tuck nice. It'll tuck nice, really close. All right, guys, that was one side. That was basically me showing you how to change the wheel hub and change the wheel studs. Now the other side, I already have a new hub, so all it would be was changing the studs. And I know a lot of people have trouble with that, so I'll walk you through also how to change wheel studs with the hub already on the car. All right, y'all, let me revisit. It's been a couple weeks. I've been trying to do these extended studs, but I've been doing them all wrong. Listen to me, do not use a hammer to start these studs in. I just had to suck it up, and I went to Napa and got the stud installer tool with the little washer built in. It's like $32, and that's saved me all the trouble. So here's my old hub. You can use a hammer to tap these out, or I would suggest you put a nut on the end and then hammer it out. All right, so I like to get a vice grip to hold the new stud, the extended stud, right by the bottom, just because it's easy to spin. To make it spin right, and you're trying to put it in the new hub right here. Hold it in from the bottom. Then we grab our donor nut, something with an open end preferably, the stud installer, put it on top of the new stud, then put donor nut up there. And then I'm gonna get my impact gun. Start out slow, right? Now, it's got a little bit of bite in the back here. And as I use this impact gun, you watch it go inside. Hopefully I can hold it right. Until it's flush. And that's just rinse and repeat after that. All right, here we are. I got my check engine light on, but I should have shown you guys, man. I had a Christmas tree up here. I had ABS, VSA, the triangle, and all-wheel drive light on. And when I kept scanning it, it would say steering angle sensor, and then it would say right front pulsar failure. And I'm like, what is that? You know what I mean? And finally I just swapped the wheel bearing again. I'm guessing I might have caused some damage from using a hammer to tap the studs in. Guys, learn from my mistake. Do not do that. I was without my car for almost 3 weeks because of this issue, and then as soon as I take it on a drive now, I go past 25 and all the lights turn off on their own. Well, what happened was I had all those lights I mentioned before, except for all-wheel drive, and then once I get over 25, the car will lag, and then the all-wheel drive light will come on, and then it'll engage again, meaning it disabled my rear wheels, and I could feel the difference, at speed and on the highway. And I've been scared to take this car on the highway, but we got it all fixed now, and these hands went to work, and hopefully I was able to help you guys out. I'm on my hair, don't mind nothing. I just been going through it, but I got my car back and I'm happy, y'all. But as always, love, peace, and blessings. Appreciate all you guys who tune in, who watch my channel, who support me. I have a lot of fun making these videos, just doing what I naturally do. And if there's anything you guys want to know or any videos you guys want to see, just leave a comment down below, share the video, and I'll respond. I read my comments and I appreciate them as well. But y'all have a safe day, and peace. All right, another key thing I'm realizing, I'm doing my highway test drive, if you're running extended studs, you need longer lug nuts in the front. The normal standard size ones I had kept backing out. I felt slight vibration that just was kind of unsettling. So I got longer. You can even, I mean, if you want to go the route of getting lug nuts that don't have a cap, that's cool too. But I got longer ones and I felt an immediate difference. And I'm on the highway now. When I reach my destination, I'll check and retorque and see if they backed out on me. And that'll be that.